Hello! Okay, welcome to today's small groups. Your story is Air is Everywhere. What I like to do is at the end of a themed topic, especially science, where we've learned quite a few new vocabulary words, I like to introduce the small books that they have for our science section. And in these books, we can review some of those vocabulary and we can use them in a book setting. So it's a way of showing that I've learned new words and I can use them as I'm reading. So you need this page from your lesson plan, lesson scans, or you can just recreate that inside your science journal. And we're going to be reading this book. And before we do that, we should go over some flashcard words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the word, going to show how to sound it out, and then I'm going to read it. So I want you to try to read the word first. You might have to pause me after each time I put down a card. That way you have enough time to figure it out. So air, resistance, resistance, air resistance. Bless you, baby. Water, vape or vape or vapor, water vapor. Parachutes, parachutes, parachutes. Moisture, moisture. Container, container. Precipitation, precipitation. Measuring cup. Windsurfer, a windsurfer. Here's this word again. Air pressure, pressure. You've seen this word. Properties, properties. Condenses, condenses. All right, let's use those words to help us read the story. Air is everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I am going to turn to a page and leave it open. You should pause and try to read this. You can read a little bit of it. You can try to, if you really struggle, then just read along with me. That would be fine also. A property is something you can observe with your senses. Objects have many different properties. Size, color, shape, and feel are all properties. Weight is also a property. Weight is how heavy an object feels when you pick it up. Some objects weigh more than other objects. Some things are solids. Some things are liquids. Some things are gases. Solids, liquids, and gases are different from one another. A solid has its own size and shape. When a solid is moved, it does not change shape. A liquid takes the shape of its container. It has its own size, but not its own shape. Liquids can be poured. One type of liquid is water. You can put liquid in a measuring cup. It will show the size of a liquid. A gas does not have its own size. A gas does not have its own shape. It takes the size and shape of its container. You cannot see most gases. You are about to read about one gas. Air is a gas, and it is all around us. So pause and read both pages. Air is a gas. It is all around us. Air is touching us all the time. We cannot see air, but sometimes we can feel it. Have you ever felt the wind on your skin? That is air. We can also see what air does around us. The wind can carry a kite. It can make trees sway. When you blow up a balloon, you are filling it with air. Now the balloon takes up more space and it weighs more. An air-filled balloon weighs more than an empty balloon because air does take up space. Pause so you can read. Rising air. Hot air is lighter than cool air. Air that is warm rises up. People can use hang gliders to soar through the air. Birds such as eagles and seagulls soar on rising waves of air. Warm air keeps the birds' bodies lifted. Birds that glide have big wings so that they can catch as much air as possible. This is an eagle. A hot air balloon can float because it has warm air in it. The bag of air is heated by a burner inside the balloon. As the air in the bag cools, the balloon slowly starts to go down. So they actually have open flames in there, and the flames heat up the air inside the balloon, which causes it to rise. And then they turn off the heat slowly, and that causes the balloon to sink as the air cools. Hot air rises. Cool air is down below. That's why they tell you if, God forbid, you're ever in a place where there's a fire, you should get low. Get low and crawl, because down there the air will be cool and it will be better to breathe. Safety features. Okay, pause so that you can read. Air has moisture in it. This moisture is called water vapor. Water vapor is water that has turned into a gas. Warm air and water vapor rise, then they cool. When the air cools, the water vapor in it condenses to form clouds. Moisture from clouds is frozen when it begins to fall. If the air is warm, it changes to rain. When the clouds become heavy enough, the water falls to the ground as rain. This is called precipitation. Rain and snow are kinds of precipitation. Snow is another kind of precipitation. Water droplets in clouds turn to snowflakes when the air is below freezing. Snow has a lot of air trapped in it. That is why snow looks white. What is he? It's a snowboarder. Air resistance. Air resistance slows down objects moving through air. You can feel air resistance when you ride your bike fast. It feels like the air is pushing against you. Air resistance helps people land using parachutes. It slows them down. The air resistance hits the parachute over here in the bottom as they fall through the air. Cars and planes have special shapes, so they have less air resistance. People do not want cars and planes that are slowed down by air. We want to use the air to help us push us forward. Pause. Air pressure. Down on air presses down on objects around it. This is called air pressure. Air pressure gets less strong the higher we go. This is because there is less air. We are so used to the air pushing against us that we do not even feel it. The air in these bike tires is under pressure. Air is springy. It pushes back when you squash it. You can feel the pressure of air when you squeeze a ball or a bike tire. The air is pushed into a smaller space and feels tight. When we let go, the ball or tire will spring out again. Some machines work using air pressure. This drill uses air pressure to help make holes and loud noises. Okay, pause so that you can read. Air is an important gas. It is all around us. Its pressure is always pushing down on us. We cannot see it, but we can see and feel what it does. Warm, rising air lets birds fly. Moisture in the air causes precipitation, like rain or snow. You can feel air resistance when you go fast. People can use air for many things. It lets hot air balloons and hang gliders fly. Windsurfers use it to move across the water. It slows down parachutes. It can even make drills work better. Air is amazing. Here is our glossary, and we're going to answer these questions on our page. So you can also go back in order to answer the questions using that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to phrase an answer to the question and leave part of it blank for you to fill out on your own, and then we will go over the answers at the end. So question number 1, why is snow white? Not Snow White. Why is snow white? Snow is white because it is filled with blank. What is it filled with? Number 2, how can people use air pressure? Air pressure can inflate your bike blank. Remember to write the complete sentence, not just the word answer. Why does a hot air balloon rise? Blank air rises inside the balloon. What type of air rises? Hot or cold? Now look at the picture at the top of page 5. Why is the balloon filled with air lower than the empty balloon? Use the graphic organizer to help you understand. So they asked us to look here at page 5. Here's page 5. And they ask us to look at the picture. Why is the balloon filled with air lower than the balloon without air? So this is the property of what? How heavy something is. What is it called when we talk about how heavy something is? Write that word here. Give you a hint. Starts with a W. Then tell me why the air-filled balloon is lower. The air-filled balloon, now in the second part you're going to tell me why the empty balloon is higher. Okay, take your time to answer these questions, think about them, pause me now so that you can answer them, and then check your answers with me. Don't cheat and just wait for me to give you the answers. That's not fun. See if you can do it on your own. Are you ready? Okay. Snow is white because it is filled with air. Air pressure can inflate your bike tires. Why does a hot air balloon rise? Hot air rises inside the balloon. The property that we discussed with the balloon filled with air is the property of weight. The air-filled balloon is heavier. That's why it is lower. The empty balloon is lighter. That's why it is higher. Did you get the right answers? I hope so. I also hope you've learned a little something today. Air is everywhere.